Yes, hello, it is I, Danhausen here. Very nice, very evil. Love that, Danhausen. To show off the new NECA Studios Monsterizer. You can remonsterize your favorite monsters. Just strap them down and get ready to monsterize. With the real working crank, you just push them back in, like so.
Blah, I feel monsterized.
Just like that, your monster figurines can be monsterized. At themechastore.com.
Allergies are trying to get the best of me, but that's not gonna happen. There's toys to talk about because I'm a Robo. This here's the rewind. This here's the rewind. Y'all ever heard of Yolopark? No, I'm not starting that bit up again. But they did announce their Transformers AMK Pro X series this week. X series. The blurb states that it redesigns well-known characters from a more modern perspective, featuring intricate details and exquisite painting. That sounds kind of like 3Zero's MDLX line, just with a model kit aspect thrown in. It also sounds like an easy way to re-release an Optimus Prime and a Megatron before digging too deep in their regular AMK Pro Series line now. I know that sounds jaded, but we have seen this time and again from other companies. They do the leaders, and then they do some of the secondaries, some of the other main cast, and then, oh, we've got to get sales up. Here's another Optimus Prime, here's another Megatron, here's another Bumblebee, and whoever else, the popular ones, just in a different style, or paint job or something. And don't get me wrong, I love those characters. I like seeing them in different styles and designs, but I also love world building. There's a lot more Transformers out there. Nobody is going to beat Hasbro in that department at this point, especially with releases coming every few months for Yolopark and 3Zero and everybody else. Again, it happens. I know it happens. I just want Soundwave, and I think they showed a Starscream, right? And I want some Ironhide and just go deeper. I love the designs of the AMK Pro series. I just want more characters to go with the two I already have. But again, we'll see where this goes. Maybe they won't forsake what they've done so far. Waiting and seeing. In other news, here is the Yolopark Transformers AMK Pro Series Generation 1 Optimus Prime and Megatron at an overseas hobby show this weekend. Maybe I am starting that bit again. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. Quit judging me. Another day, another dollar, another DC Multiverse Batman. I've said it before, I'm kind of a sucker for the whole sketch edition thing, that taking a 3D object and making or attempting to make it look like a 2D object, that just kind of messes with my brain. I like it. And I feel like this gold label Entertainment Earth exclusive Hush Batman sketch edition does it a little better than some of the others we've seen in the past. Oh, it's still harsh and blocky when placed in front of a bright white background, and it's still kind of the same when you darken it down a little for mood lighting. It's the video turnaround that I like the best. It's turning, stop, right there. See how the black paint kind of just melts into the darker background? This is how this should be displayed. But again, it's another Batman, it's another sketch edition, it's another exclusive. It's just out there for the people who are into this kind of thing. Nothing more, nothing less. Because, you know, in other McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse news, did someone say Batman? Because we have another Batman. This is the Nightfall Batman and Bane 2-pack, and it's essentially what we've gotten before with a few tweaks. Batman is that nice Nightfall sculpt with a lighter blue and gray color scheme, some battle damage, and a wired cape. I think the head is new too, with the gritted teeth, but I really like the shading around the eyes. Did we see that on a glow-in-the-dark version, or was that a completely different Batman? Bane is also a lot of reuse sculpt. Remove the harness, new head, new belt, blue cell shading on the black costume parts. I feel like this would look better next to the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Nightfall Batman, with the shading up on the forehead and the trunks. Either way, here's these two with some changes to make them a little more accurate to the comics.
You've been a bad boy, Batman. It's been a while, hasn't it? I had to break out
Wake up! I am this picture's reckoning! Even Todd got in on the action.
And you can break his back and put him into the pose like in the comic book, right? That's super sassy.
Finally, there is the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Tim Drake Robin. Just a nice representation of the character, although I will admit not being too knowledgeable with Rebirth. It does have all the Tim Drake beats though. It has the cocky smile, it has the reds and the greens and the blacks and the yellows. It's got a little bit of armor, it's got a wired cape, and all the hands you could ever need. There's fists, there's open, there's tensed, there's pointing, there's thumbs up, there's bow staff gripping hands. Bow staff gripping hands for fast food straws or pixie sticks, because I ain't seeing no bow staff. I was having more fun with this. Yes, get this man a bow staff. That's not all from McFarlane Toys, but we're flipping over to their DC Retro line. I cannot help loving the Batman 66 offerings. Sure. They are limited in sculpt and articulation, which is the point. DC Retro, don't get me wrong, I would love to see super articulation, full-on movement and everything, but these are still fun. The cheesiness plays into what they're based on. It's Batman 66. And as the newest wave proves, you just never know what you're gonna get. Let's start with Batman himself. Space Batman is based on a Mike Allred cover from Green Lantern. That's it. I think that's his only appearance. Although, again, I haven't read a lot of modern comics. Maybe he appears inside, but when you type in Space Batman, Batman 66, this is what comes up. It's not complete reuse. The torso has been modified for the wings and the helmet, and then there's the banding right here. But the rest, yes, it is reuse of the Batman 66 mold. It's just a neat way to get the main hero back into the line again. Some people don't like bringing the comic designs into this series, but if we're gonna get stuff like this, where it seems like it would have fit into the original show, then I'm all for it. Because if you stick solely with the live action, you're gonna end up with things like Wax Robin. That's playing into the cheesiness that we were just talking about. This is from Season 2, Episode 22, The Joker's Provokers, where Robin was covered in wax to immobilize him, to get him out of Joker's way. Then Batman had to come along and release him with bat wax solvent, which is included here in the spray can along with a bat hand broom. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not interested in this Robin, but the accessories are kind of tempting. And I've seen all y'all's crude jokes. We run a classy YouTube channel here. I'm not gonna dip down to y'all's level. Moving on, I may not be into glazed Grayson, but I am all about some hairy dick. Like I said, I do not mind McFarlane supplementing this series with comic book designs, and this may be the best example yet. This is Nightwing's look from the comic Batman 66 meets Wonder Woman 77, and even if I didn't know that, I could still look at this and go, oh, yep. It's from that era. The bell bottoms, the unzipped jacket, the exposed chest, the hairstyle. Oh, it's perfect. I love it. And could this be a way to get Wonder Woman into this series? Back to the actual TV show, we predicted that Alfred was going to show up at some point. His head was on top of a Batman body in a previous wave, and then Commissioner Gordon's body was just a no-brainer. I mean, some people wanted to use that as Alfred since it's white hair, mustache, glasses, but now you don't have to. Here's your proper Alfred. Plus, it's freaking Alfred. He has to show up at some point. Batman would be lost without him. The surprise of the wave, well, one of the surprises, again, who knew Dick was going to go that hard? But Bookworm showing up after kind of cooling down on the TV show villains, totally welcome. Roddy McDowall in plastic form. It's a crazy world we're living in. Although he has voiced a lot of characters that we've seen, a lot of cartoon characters that we have had action figures of before. And then I guess there was Black Hole Vincent. They had that figure. Oh, and then Planet of the Apes. That's some live action stuff. But Roddy McDowall with Roddy McDowall features. Have we had a figure of that yet? Again, just when you think they're gonna skip a villain for whatever reason, like likeness rights or something, boom, here is this in all its squeaky suit glory. In his appearance, it was, I mean, even looking at the material that the figure is meant to represent, you can just hear, in fact, if the joints don't squawk, whenever you bend the elbows or knees, I don't even know what we're doing here. It doesn't look like the headlamp is bendable though. That may be my only gripe. And then I'll find my own trash can to reenact the fight between Batman, Robin, and Bookworm. Hell of a sequence. That fight choreography. Ooh. But then there's also the Amazon exclusive Batmobile with Joker, or Joker Man with Jokerman Mobile. In a previous wave, we had Joker in his pseudo Batman gear, and this is the exact same figure, just with a new cape and orange to the vest. And then the spats painted. I think that's the big differences. And then, of course, the Batmobile is in Joker colors. You got the purples, you got the greens, you got those awesome Joker head logos on there. I think I like those the best. This is almost like the transformation into Joker Man is complete. He has his costume, he has his gear. I wish I knew what the storyline was in the comics. But putting the figure in the car and then on top of it really shows just how out of scale the vehicles and the figures are. Oh yeah, we've seen the Batmobile before, and again, that's the whole point of this series, retro feel. It's to get vehicles and play sets on shelves for a cheaper price. You gotta shrink things down a little bit. I'm just saying that Joker looks huge when put with this Batmobile. It almost takes it a step too far for some reason. But you get them in hand, stand them up, nostalgia. It's just, oh, Batman 66. So cheesy, so fun. Hey, did anybody get a pre-order in for the Hasbro Target exclusive Marvel Legends Warbird? Because I didn't. I swear, I ran my wife to work. I got home like 10 minutes after the sale time. I figured it was Target. They were going to be late anyway. I'd have to be sitting around for an hour or two before they actually posted. But no, of course, the one time Target puts it up at the exact moment it's announced and it's gone in, I don't even know how long. I know it wasn't there 10 minutes later. I can only go by personal experience. I've seen posts of 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 7. The point is, it was gone. But I do think there was a reason for that. Target is running a 20% off sale on Marvel Legends this week, which would be a terrible time to put up their own exclusive Marvel Legends figure. Speaking from Target's point of view, for us, getting an exclusive for $20, please, that's what makes it hurt a little bit more. I missed out on it on sale. But from their point of view, somebody had to have went, hey, aren't we running a sale this week? And somebody else was like, well, okay, only put a small allotment on there and sell out quick and make it look like it flew out the door, and then we'll bring it back around when the sale is gone. And I think that's what's going to happen. Maybe not next week, but I gotta think, I gotta hope, I gotta pray that it will come back around when the release date gets closer. I can't even keep track of what I'm thinking here. It's just, exclusives were getting better, you know? And then every time we let our guard down, that we let a little love back into our hearts, it's just crushed. It's just kicked right back in the crotch. Hey, you like exclusives? You like this figure? The unpredictability keeps coming back into play, you know? You think, well, I got that easy enough. I pre-ordered it, and I got it. And then sometimes you pre-order it, and then it's delayed, it's pushed back. You get those emails of, hey, did you want this? Yes. Have I canceled it? Did I pre-order it in the first place? Then give me my toy. I will bet a good $2.50 that this will come back around and be easier to get. But that's all I'm betting, Bob. That's as high as I'm going. Because Hasbro also announced a Walmart exclusive 85th anniversary retro carded Venom. Son of a bitch! Again, things have gotten less worrisome when it comes to Walmart. I had no problem whatsoever getting my exclusive Star Wars Black Series R4 unit. But I'm thinking that is way, way less desirable than a new Venom with some new body parts. Because it's Venom, with a totally retooled torso to have a low crunch and then a high floaty pecs, which pecs are high. That's pretty much just pointing out the anatomy of a torso. If you have floaty pecs, it's going to be high. This replaces the Omega Red torso that they've been rocking for a while now. because I think that's where the limbs come from. But it's appreciated here because the new articulation setup works well with the Venom logo, especially here at the butterflies. Well, I don't know. Now that I look at it, the upper floaty pecs, the cut line there is slicing the logo exactly where an ab crunch, a regular ab crunch, would be. It makes the big guy body a little more mobile, which is nice because it's Venom. Have I pointed that out yet? It's Venom. I also like that alternate head, very McFarlane-esque. So if you like your early Venom to be a big bulky bastard, looks like we're fighting Walmart because I want this too. I'm not huge into symbiotes and that era, but it's Venom. No set date just yet, no pre-order info. All it says is $24.99 for a bigger character. That's nice. And summer. So be on the lookout. That was a nice primer to today's Out of the Blue reveal. The Hasbro Pulse exclusive Marvel Legends Venom Let There Be Carnage. Not my favorite interpretation of Cletus, but it's not bad. It's got the base elements, it's got the reds, it's got the blacks, it's got the ooey gooey skin look, it's got tentacles, it's got weapons, it's got teeth and tongue. I think it just comes down to the size. That is a big honkin' Carnage. Some might say he's large. And the figure's the same. It clocks in at 8.5 inches tall, which is large. It also says unique tendril design. That was 3 words. I didn't have to read that, but I wanted to make sure it was exactly how they put it. I don't know if that's referring to how the tendrils plug into the body or some kind of new material that's super bendy or something. It's just unique tendril design. I had to do it again. This medication's kicking my butt. The loadout is kind of impressive with 5 long tendrils. I think 2 of them share a sculpt. There's weapon hands, and then there's an alternate head. No price, but this has to be running deluxe numbers, right? It's a bigger figure, bigger package, bigger accessories, Papa John's, I can't help it. Pre-orders open next Wednesday, May the 15th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. I didn't have to look at that for that, but I have to keep looking for unique tendril design. I told you I'd do it. I warned you. I threatened you. I did a not so quick rundown of some of the Star Wars reveals that we got after the last rewind. And there I rambled on. It was Star Wars stuff. Of course I'm gonna do it. Some bread, some butter. I'll keep all day. My cholesterol is terrible this week because of so much bread and butter. But I did say that I was going to swing back around and do a much more condensed version. So here we are. Here is the Hasbro Star Wars Black Series Amazon exclusive Emperor Palpatine with throne. Same as the first release, different packaging. That's it. Nicer price for newer collectors or those of you who missed it a couple years back. The other Hasbro Star Wars Black Series Amazon exclusive reveal this week was the Jedi Survivor Droids pack. It's a mix of old, newer, and newest because it gives us another battle droid, and this time coming with some kind of cutlery for help in the kitchen or something. There's the Magna Guard that we got last year at some point, and then there's the Super Battle Droid that we just got in the past month. But to repeat myself just a little, I have no problem with them milking this mold. This is one of my favorite figures of the year so far. But you'll notice the rocket arm. That is new for this specific release, and it's hurting my heart because I'm not into Jedi Survivor. The color schemes are neat, but it doesn't really do anything for me. I don't have a Magna Guard. Battle droids are but man, a super battle droid with a rocket arm. I thought I'd talk myself out of it with the last video. And here we are, talking myself back into it. There is a little Star Wars Black Series update, some new information though. You remember the announcement of Ki-Adi-Mundi? Yeah, me neither. I had to go back and look it up. He was pipeline revealed at San Diego Comic-Con 2022. Then when we got pretty promotional shots, I had this to say. This guy has been on my shortlist for a long time. I've bought several custom heads, but I was never happy with any of my fodder bodies. Now I don't have to worry about any of that. I just wait for this to release, buy it, put it on my shelf, and Man, that looks good. I'm already picturing it in my head. Wait for the release. Oh, to be young and innocent again, because that was February 2023, over a year ago. But it looks like our little collecting adventure is coming to a close because Entertainment Earth has posted a pre-order for Ki-Adi-Mundi this week. That is showing a release date of June. That's right around the corner. It's May. June comes after May. Yay! It's funny, I went and saw Phantom Menace at my local theater a few days ago, and when Ki-Adi-Mundi flashed up on screen, I had like a flashback. Oh, wait, weren't we supposed to be getting a figure of him? We were. Oh, I need him in plastic form. Maybe that's what they were waiting for, the anniversary week. Even funnier, it's been this long and I'm still not prepared. I have not sourced his hat from Outlander. I need that. Ki-Adi-Mundi in disguise. Nobody will recognize me like this. Back to recapping that rundown, which is essentially a recap of some reveals. Bandai announced some reissues for their Star Wars SH Figuarts with a few tweaks here and there to spruce things up. The Stormtrooper is the same as the last release, just with some green lenses in the helmet. R2-D2 is just cleaner, missing the panel lines that they added to the first figure. They may be shooting for that look from the awards ceremony at the end of A New Hope because their C-3PO is brighter and golder and shinier. At least in this picture. We'll have to see more promo images and then the factory piece, because like I talked about in that rundown, the C-3POs haven't really matched the promotional images so far. And then the upcoming Darth Vader is essentially just all reuse of the Obi-Wan series Darth Vader that came out a few months back. The only big difference is the robe's going over the armor instead of under. And that's all we have at the moment. 4 pictures. That's it. See, I can be brief when I want to be, but it also helps that I got all that rambling off my chest during the rundown. If you want to see the uncondensed version of all this information, you can do so by clicking the link up there. Go ahead, you know you want to click the link. And that's all I have for this week. As always, special thanks to the Patreon. I like throwing pictures at them. And then I finally got the chat working. Did I mention that before during a previous rewind? I don't know, but I'm having to remind myself to go in there because Patreon's weird, man. They don't notify you when you get a message or something, or at least it doesn't on mine. Maybe I need a new phone. I need to update the app, maybe. I look down here like my phone's here and it's not. All I have is this. Hello, Patreon. When you talk through a string in cups, this is how it sounds. See? I'm not talking like that, but I get over here and it just goes. 407 years ago. Friends, Romans, countrymen. I don't say it a lot anymore because I figure people get sick of hearing it, but if you're interested in anything talked about on the rewinds or my videos, the links are all in the description. And if you want to go down there and click those, like the Big Bad Toy Store and stuff like that, it helps out. But if you don't, that's okay too. You do you. I know. Believe me, I know. Anything else happen this week? Anything that warrants my attention? Nope.